Ethan Caldwell, a 35-year-old tech engineer, stood in his bright San Francisco kitchen, sunlight streaming through the glass door. He was brewing coffee when Olivia's iPad, his wife's, lit up on the counter. A message appeared, not his but hers. Ethan glanced at it, unease rising. Olivia usually locked her iPad, but today she'd rushed upstairs to grab her purse, leaving it behind. Just work, he told himself, but instinct hinted otherwise. The iPad buzzed again. Ethan leaned in, eyes fixed on the screen. A message from Nathan Pierce, a mayoral candidate. Tonight, St. Regis, come early. Want to see you. Ethan's heart tightened. 8 years of marriage, nights curled up together, Napa trips, all shattered like glass. He opened the message thread, each line cutting like a knife. Room 1203, remember? Last night was amazing. This wasn't work. This was betrayal. The kitchen spun, Ethan's breath heavy. Olivia was cheating with Nathan, the man plastered on posters with a fake smile. He scrolled further, finding plans for tonight at a fancy lounge. Olivia had said, "I'm dining with colleagues, don't wait up." Her voice was light, carefree, like she'd never lied. Olivia came downstairs, dress hugging her frame, smile radiant. "I'm out with the company crew, don't wait," she said, kissing his cheek. Ethan nodded, voice icy, "Sure." She didn't notice his eyes, grabbed her keys and left. The apartment fell silent, just Ethan and the iPad glowing with lies. He clenched his fists, anger mixing with pain. Olivia and Nathan couldn't get away with this. Ethan searched quickly about Nathan, discovering Claire, his sister, once wronged by him in a family dispute. He messaged Claire, "I know about Nathan and Olivia. We need to talk." Looking out at bustling San Francisco, Ethan vowed to make them pay. The war had begun. Ethan sat in a small Mission District cafe, dim yellow lights casting shadows on rough brick walls. The hum of coffee grinders blended with the low chatter of techies and artists around him. His laptop screen showed Claire Pierce's LinkedIn profile, Nathan's sister. Her photo revealed a woman around 30, blonde hair tied high, eyes sharp but tinged with sadness. Her latest status: freedom is when integer, when you have nothing left to lose. Ethan smirked, feeling Claire understood him more than he'd expected. His message from yesterday glowed on Claire's phone. "I know about Nathan and Olivia. We need to talk." Her reply was curt, 3 p.m. Cafe Reverie. Don't be late. It was 2:58 p.m., and Ethan felt his pulse quicken. Not from the strong coffee he'd just drunk, but from the thought of what was coming. He didn't just want revenge. He wanted Olivia and Nathan to feel the pain they'd caused, every second of it. The cafe door opened, bell jingling. Claire walked in, gray wool coat, leather bag slung across her shoulder. She didn't look like a victim but like a leader of a war. Claire scanned the room, spotted Ethan from the photo he'd sent, and approached. "Ethan Caldwell?" Her voice was low, firm, no hesitation. "That's me," Ethan replied, standing to shake her hand. Her hand was cool, the grip brief but strong. They sat, neither wasting time on small talk. "What do you know about Nathan?" Claire cut to the chase, fingers tapping lightly on her latte cup. Ethan took a deep breath, sliding the laptop toward her. The screen showed a chain of emails he'd hacked from Nathan's secondary account, one he thought was wiped clean. "He's cheating with my wife, Olivia. They meet at hotels, lounges, even her office. But that's not all." He pointed to an email, a $50,000 transfer to an offshore account, labeled "Keep Quiet." Nathan's laundering money for his campaign. Claire raised an eyebrow, unsurprised. "That's my brother. Always knows how to cover his tracks." She sipped her latte, eyes distant. 3 years ago, Nathan pushed me out of the family company. Said I wasn't competent, but he just wanted full control. I lost everything: house, reputation, trust and family. Ethan nodded, feeling like he was looking in a mirror. Olivia's the same. Built a perfect image, startup CEO, ideal wife. Now I know the truth. He paused, voice lower. "I want them to pay, Claire. Not just for me but for you." Claire smiled, sharp as a blade. "You don't need to convince me. But we need to be smart. Nathan's not stupid, he'll hit back if he smells danger." They began planning. Ethan explained he'd installed tracking software on Olivia's phone, discovering she and Nathan planned to meet at a Soma lounge tomorrow night. But that was just the start. Claire suggested targeting a bigger event. Olivia's startup product launch next week, where investors and media would gather. "If we want to ruin them, make it public," she said. "Nathan lives on his image. So does Olivia. Hit that, they'll crumble." Ethan nodded, but a thought made him pause. "If we go big, there's risk. Nathan has money, connections." "You sure?" Claire tilted her head, eyes glinting. You think I came here to lose again? She pulled a USB from her bag, slid it toward Ethan. This is my file from the family company. Invoices, emails, proof Nathan manipulated shares. Combine it with your data, we can break him. Ethan took the USB, feeling like he held a bomb. He plugged it into the laptop, files popping up. Fake invoices, emails between Nathan and a shady partner. How long have you kept this? He asked. Long enough to wait for a chance, Claire replied, voice cold. Now's the time. They planned further, voices blending with the cafe's noise. Ethan suggested hacking the presentation system at Olivia's event, displaying Nathan's messages and proof on the big screen. Claire agreed but warned, we need to be discreet. Nathan has eyes everywhere. And Olivia, she's not dumb. If she suspects, it's over. As they left, dusk settled over San Francisco, its skyscrapers glowing. Ethan and Claire shook hands, a wordless pact. Tomorrow night, Soma Lounge, Ethan said. We'll test them first, see how they react. Claire nodded, slinging her bag over her shoulder. Don't let emotions take over, Ethan. This isn't a game. She turned, blending into the crowd. Ethan watched, feeling he'd found a dangerous ally. He checked his phone, a new message from Olivia. Working late tonight, don't worry. He smirked, fingers brushing the screen. Don't worry, he muttered, but you should. Back at the apartment, Ethan opened his laptop, analyzing Claire's USB data. Each email, each invoice was a piece of Nathan's guilty puzzle. But a question lingered. What would revenge bring? Release or just more pain? He pushed it aside, focusing on the screen. Outside, San Francisco buzzed, but in this apartment, a storm was brewing. Ethan sat in his dark apartment, laptop light illuminating his tense face. Outside, San Francisco sparkled with Bay Bridge lights, but he didn't care to look. On the table, a cold coffee sat beside Claire's USB, a trove of Nathan Pierce's secrets. The emails, invoices, and shady deals were a fuse waiting to be lit. Ethan knew destroying Nathan and Olivia needed more than a jab. It needed a public explosion, undeniable. Claire was right. Olivia's startup product launch at Moscone Center in 5 days was the perfect stage. Investors, tech reporters, and Silicon Valley elites would pack the event. Olivia would bask in the spotlight, boasting about her new AI app. Nathan, a campaign sponsor, would be there, smug in a tailored suit. Ethan smiled coldly. They wouldn't see him coming. He opened a new document, typing fast, Moscone plan. First, he needed access to the conference's presentation system. As an AI engineer, Ethan had worked with similar security systems. A small flaw in the management software could let him insert a video, a montage of affair messages, hotel bills, and Nathan's laundering proof. But how to avoid detection? He messaged Claire, need to meet. 10 a.m. tomorrow, Dolores Park. Bring ideas. The next morning, Dolores Park glowed with sunlight, smelling of fresh-cut grass and filled with kids' laughter. Claire arrived in a simple hoodie, blonde hair tied low. She sat on a wooden bench beside Ethan, setting a takeout coffee on the table. You look like you haven't slept, she said, eyeing the bags under his eyes. Sleeps for when there's nothing to do, Ethan replied, voice dry. He slid the laptop toward her, outlining the Moscone hack plan. I can breach their outdated API. But we need someone on site to trigger the video at the right moment. Claire nodded, eyes alight. I'll go as a guest. Nathan always invites me to his events for family appearances. I can carry the trigger device. She pulled a small gadget from her bag like a USB with a button. Homemade. Bluetooth remote activation. You embed the code, I press the button. Ethan raised an eyebrow, impressed. Where'd you learn this? When your brother kicks you to the curb, you learn to fight back, Claire said, a bitter edge to her voice. She changed topics. But there's a problem. Rachel Kim, TechBit reporter, is sniffing around you. She called me this morning asking about a connection between you and Nathan. Ethan clenched his fists. Rachel Kim, her name had surfaced last week, emailing about an anonymous source tied to Nathan's campaign. He'd ignored it, thinking she was just a gossip-chasing reporter. But if Rachel dug deeper, their plan could collapse. What does she know? He asked. Not much yet, Claire said. But she's got a nose for it. If she's at Moscone, we need to keep everything tight until the last second. Ethan nodded, mind racing with scenarios. If Rachel found out, she could paint him and Claire as the villains. Olivia and Nathan would spin it to their advantage. He needed to throw Rachel off. I'll create a fake account, leak some false rumors about Nathan to her, Ethan said. Enough to keep her busy, not enough to trace us. Claire nodded, but her eyes were stern. Ethan, you sure about this? Once that video plays, there's no going back. Olivia loses her startup. Nathan loses everything. And we might pay too. Ethan looked out at kites soaring in the blue sky. He thought of Olivia's fake smile last night at the lounge and Nathan, the smug man who thought himself untouchable. They didn't give me a choice, he said. I don't want reconciliation. I want justice. Claire placed a hand on his shoulder, light but firm. Then we go all in. But remember, Ethan, this isn't just revenge. It's taking back what they stole from us. That afternoon, Ethan returned to the apartment, working non-stop. He breached Moscow's system, finding a flaw in the presentation software. Each line of code was a step toward Judgment Day. But a message from Mike, his best friend, stopped him. Ethan, you're playing with fire. Olivia called me, she suspects you know something. Stop before it goes too far. Ethan stared at the message, fingers hovering over the keyboard. Mike, his college buddy, always pulled him from trouble. But this time Ethan didn't want to hear it. He texted back, I'm fine. Don't worry. But deep down he knew Mike was partly right. Revenge might free him, but it could also change him. That night, Ethan and Claire met at a rooftop bar in Soma, the city's lights sprawling like a glittering carpet. They finalized the plan. Claire would carry the trigger device into the event, Ethan would control it remotely. They also prepared a plan B, an anonymous social media post ready to leak evidence if the video was blocked. If Nathan or Olivia try to flip this, we flood the internet, Claire said, raising her wine glass. They'll have nowhere to hide. Ethan nodded, but Olivia's image flashed in his mind, not the betrayer, but the girl who laughed brightly at Ocean Beach's sunset. He shook it off. They chose this path, he said, voice firm. Now they pay. Claire looked at him, eyes both empathetic and resolute. Tomorrow, Soma Lounge. We show up, rattle them first. Then Moscow is the final blow. She stood, leaving her glass half full. Get some sleep, Ethan. You need to be sharp. Ethan lingered, gazing at the city. San Francisco was breathtaking, but beneath its sheen lay dark secrets. He gripped his phone, Olivia and Nathan's messages vivid in his mind. 5 days until they'd no regret. The Soma Lounge pulsed with electric energy, purple neon lights glinting off sleek leather seats and polished metal tables. San Francisco's tech elite mingled, sharp laughter mixing with thumping bass. Ethan stood at the bar, bourbon in hand, eyes scanning the crowd. Claire, nearby, blended in with a fitted blazer and discreet earpiece, calm but calculating. Tonight wasn't the main act, just a test punch to see how Olivia and Nathan would react when cornered. Ethan's pulse raced, not from nerves but from the thrill of what was coming. He spotted them at a corner table, Olivia in a shimmering emerald dress, confident as she leaned toward Nathan. Nathan, in a tailored navy suit, exuded the charm of a man used to owning the room. His hand brushed Olivia's arm, too intimate for colleagues. Ethan's jaw tightened, but he swallowed the surge of betrayal. Tonight he wasn't the wounded husband. He was the hunter. Claire's voice crackled through the earpiece. They're relaxed. Too relaxed. Ready to shake them up? Ethan tilted his glass, bourbon catching the light. Make them sweat. He pulled his phone from his pocket, opening an app he'd coded last night, a simple script to hijack the lounge's digital menu screens. One tap could swap cocktail lists for a screenshot. Nathan's message to Olivia, timestamped 2 nights ago. Missed you already. Same room tomorrow? Claire moved first, gliding through the crowd with the grace of someone who belonged. She paused near Olivia and Nathan's table, pretending to check her phone. Oh, Nathan, she said loud enough to draw eyes. Didn't expect to see you here. With her. Her voice was light, teasing but sharp as a blade. Olivia's smile faltered, fingers tightening on her wine glass. Nathan's eyes narrowed, but he quickly regained his politician's grin. Claire, always stirring trouble. Join us. Claire ignored the invite, her gaze flicking to Ethan. The signal. He tapped the app. The lounge's screens flickered, then displayed the incriminating message in bold white text. The crowd murmured. Heads turned, phones lifted to snap photos. Olivia's face paled, eyes darting to the nearest screen. Nathan froze, his charm evaporating. What the hell is this? Nathan growled, standing abruptly, chair scraping loudly. He scanned the room, hunting the source. Olivia grabbed his hand, voice low but urgent. We need to go. Now. Ethan approached, casual as if he'd just noticed them. Leaving so soon? He said, voice smooth but laced with threat. Thought you two were enjoying tonight. He locked eyes with Olivia, watching her squirm under the weight of her lies. The crowd's whispers grew, a mix of shock and delight. A woman in a glittery dress murmured to her friend, "That's Olivia Hart. Didn't know she was that close with Pierce." Another snapped a photo, flash highlighting Nathan's scowl. Olivia's lips parted, but no words came. She looked at Ethan, eyes wide with panic, not remorse. "Ethan, this isn't," she started, but he cut her off. "Don't explain," he said, stepping closer. "You're good at stories, Olivia. But not good enough." Nathan squared his shoulders, trying to reclaim control. "You're out of line, Caldwell. This is private." His voice was low, warning, but a tremor betrayed his unease. Claire laughed, the sound cutting through the tension. "Private? In a room full of screens." She gestured at the crowd, now openly staring. "You picked the wrong place for this game, brother." The lounge manager, a thin man in black, approached, looking flustered. "Folks, let's keep this civil." But it was too late. The screens flickered again, now showing a second message, "Hotel bills on me. Don't tell him." The crowd gasped, phones buzzing as the image spread online. Olivia covered her mouth, her composure crumbling. Nathan grabbed her wrist, pulling her toward the exit, but the crowd parted slowly, eyes heavy. Ethan watched, his heart steady, an odd calm settling in. This was just the beginning, a warning shot before the fatal blow at Moscone. Claire stepped beside him, whispering, "They're rattled." Nathan's furious, but he's scared. Olivia's worse, she's breaking. Ethan nodded, finishing his bourbon. "Good. Let them worry. Moscone's in 4 days. They'll walk right into it." As they left the lounge, the night air hit Ethan like a slap, cool and sharp. San Francisco's sky sparkled, indifferent to the chaos he'd unleashed. Claire walked beside him, steps firm. "You okay?" she asked, softer. Ethan didn't answer immediately. He thought of Olivia's face, crumbling not from guilt but from being caught. He thought of Nathan, the power-hungry man now floundering. "I'm fine," he said finally. "They're not." Claire's phone buzzed and she glanced at it, her face darkening. "Rachel Kim just texted. She was here, saw everything. Wants to meet tomorrow." Ethan's stomach twisted. Rachel, the TechBit reporter, was a dangerous variable. If she dug deeper, she could ruin their plan before Moscone. "What did she say?" he asked. "She's curious," Claire replied, pocketing the phone. "Thinks there's a bigger story. We need to throw her off." Ethan nodded, mind spinning. "I'll create a fake account, leak some false rumors about Nathan's campaign finances. Enough to keep her busy, not enough to trace us." He paused, looking at Claire. "You sure? If Rachel gets close, it's not just them who'll burn." Claire's eyes met his, unwavering. "I've been ready since Nathan took everything from me." "You." Ethan didn't need to answer. The fire in his chest said enough. They parted at the corner, Claire vanishing into neon-lit streets. Ethan hailed a cab, the city blurring past. He replayed tonight, Olivia's panic, Nathan's anger, like fuel. But a small voice whispered, "What are you becoming?" He silenced it, focusing on the plan. Moscone was coming, and with it, their downfall. Back at the apartment, Ethan checked his phone. A message from Mike. "Heard about the lounge. You're playing with fire, buddy?" Ethan didn't reply. Mike was good, but he didn't understand. This wasn't a game. This was justice. He opened his laptop, accessing Moscone's API. 4 days to perfect the code, ensuring every conference screen would blaze with truth. He worked through the night, the city's noise fading, his resolve unshaken. Moscone's center glowed under crystal chandeliers, marble floors reflecting suits and evening gowns. Silicon Valley investors, tech reporters, and elites mingled, clinking wine glasses to soft jazz. Ethan stood at the hall's edge, black tuxedo fitted, eyes cold as he scanned the crowd. Claire, a few steps away in an elegant burgundy dress, looked like a queen ready for war. This was the night. Olivia and Nathan would face the truth before hundreds of eyes. Ethan checked his phone. The encrypted app he'd installed in Moscone's presentation system was running perfectly. It held a 5-minute video, a masterpiece he and Claire crafted. Olivia and Nathan's flirty messages, hotel receipts, and Nathan's campaign money laundering proof. It would play on the main screen when Olivia took the stage to unveil her AI app. Ethan touched the remote trigger in his pocket, fingers grazing the button. One press and their world would collapse. Claire glided past, whispering through the earpiece, "Olivia's backstage. Nathan just arrived, chatting with sponsors. You ready?" Ethan nodded slightly, lips tight. They won't know what hit them until it's too late. Adrenaline surged, not fear but the thrill of control. Yet a flicker of doubt sparked. This would end everything, not just his marriage but Olivia and Nathan's careers, reputations. He shook it off. They chose this path. On stage, the lights dimmed, an MC stepping out, voice booming through the mic, "Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the groundbreaking product launch of Horizon AI, led by the talented CEO Olivia Hart." The crowd applauded, spotlights focusing on Olivia as she stepped out, white dress shimmering like moonlight, smile confident. She began her speech, voice smooth, touting AI's future, how Horizon would change the world. The crowd was captivated, but Ethan saw only her facade. Claire, near an investor, discreetly checked her Bluetooth device. She messaged through the earpiece, "Systems good. Countdown 3 minutes." When Olivia hits the demo. Ethan nodded, unseen. He moved to a shadowed corner near the lighting panel, where he could monitor unnoticed. In the crowd, he glimpsed Nathan laughing with businessmen, his suit gleaming. He didn't know he was about to lose everything. 3 minutes crawled like a century. Olivia shifted to the demo, pointing at the giant screen behind her. "And here, ladies and gentlemen, is the future of AI." The screen lit up, but instead of the app interface, it displayed bold text, "The truth about Olivia Hart and Nathan Pierce." The crowd hushed, then murmured. Olivia turned, smile frozen. Ethan pressed the button and the video began. Messages flashed, each line a dagger. "Tonight, 10 p.m. room 1203. Don't let anyone know." St. Regis Hotel receipts scrolled, followed by Nathan's emails about illegal transfers. A voice, Ethan's, altered to be untraceable, boomed, "This is the true face of Horizon AI's CEO and mayoral candidate Nathan Pierce." The crowd gasped, phones raised, flashes popping. Olivia stepped back, hands trembling on the mic. "No, this is a misunderstanding." Her voice broke, but no one listened. Her eyes scanned the crowd, seeking Nathan. He stood there, face ashen like he'd seen a ghost. Investors whispered, one standing to leave, shaking his head. Rachel Kim, TechBit reporter in the front row, scribbled furiously, eyes gleaming. Nathan stormed the stage, snatching the mic from Olivia. "This is a dirty trick," he roared, voice cracking. "Whoever's behind this will pay." But the crowd didn't back him. An older investor stood, voice cold. "Pierce, explain the money. That's our funds." The murmurs became a roar like waves crashing. Claire, in the crowd, pressed her Bluetooth device, sending the video to every guest's email. "Let them see they can't hide," she whispered through the earpiece. Ethan smiled, but it wasn't full. He looked at Olivia, now covering her face, shoulders shaking. Part of him wanted to stop, to give her a chance. But he remembered her lies, the nights she smiled to his face while meeting Nathan behind his back. No, she didn't deserve it. The MC tried to restore order, futilely. "Please everyone calm down," he shouted, but the crowd was a buzzing hive. Investors pulled back, reporters swarmed Olivia and Nathan. Rachel Kim neared the stage, camera in hand. "Ms. Hart, any comment on the allegations?" she asked, voice sharp. Olivia shook her head, tears streaming, unable to speak. Nathan pulled Olivia off stage, pushing through the filming crowd. He glanced back, eyes blazing as if searching for Ethan in the sea of faces. But Ethan stood still, hidden in shadow, victory bitter. Claire approached, patting his shoulder. "They're done," she said, voice even. "But Rachel's hunting. She knows someone's behind this." Ethan nodded, eyes fixed on the exit where Olivia and Nathan vanished. "She won't find us. Not in time." But he wasn't sure. Rachel Kim was a threat, and if she dug deeper she could turn him and Claire into targets. For now he didn't care. He'd lit the fire and it was burning everything. The crowd dispersed, leaving the hall filled with whispers and flashes. Ethan and Claire slipped out an emergency exit, San Francisco's night air cool on their skin. They said nothing, just walked, shadows stretching on the sidewalk. Ethan felt the weight of what had happened. Olivia lost her startup, Nathan his campaign. But the victory wasn't as sweet as he'd imagined. It was cold like the city around him. In the cab home, Claire broke the silence. "Regret it?" Ethan stared out the window, skyscraper lights streaking by. "No," he said, but his voice wavered. "They deserved it. But I don't know how I feel." Claire nodded, understanding. "Justice doesn't always feel good. But it's necessary." She paused, then added, "Rachel won't quit. We need to be ready." Ethan clenched his fists, recalling 4 days ago at the Soma Lounge, where Olivia and Nathan first tasted fear. Now they were running but couldn't escape. He opened his phone, seeing notifications. The video had gone viral, #Horizon scandal trending. He turned it off, leaning back. Moscone was the fatal blow, but the fight wasn't over. Not with Rachel Kim prowling, and not with the void in his heart. San Francisco woke to a storm of gossip, the morning air heavy with whispers spreading through phone screens and TVs. Ethan sat in his dim apartment, laptop's blue glow lighting his face. Twitter exploded with hashtag Horizon Scandal, posts sharing the Moscone video. Olivia's flirty messages, hotel receipts, Nathan's laundering proof. Tech sites like TechBit and Wired ran analyses, calling it Silicon Valley's biggest scandal this year. Ethan sipped coffee, victory mingling with an odd emptiness. His phone buzzed, a message from Claire, investors pulling out of Horizon. Olivia's trying a press conference. Nathan summoned by campaign board. Check email. Ethan opened his inbox, finding alerts from tech forums. A major Horizon investor publicly withdrew, calling Olivia's actions unacceptable. Another article revealed Nathan under investigation for financial fraud, with prosecutors reviewing Ethan and Claire's leaked emails. Their plan had worked, but Ethan didn't feel the joy he'd expected. Instead, a void opened in his chest. Claire arrived at his apartment by noon, carrying a box of Bob's Donuts from Mission District. She set it on the kitchen table, blonde hair messy, eyes sharp but tired. "You look like you ran a marathon," she said, sinking into the sofa, leather boots clicking the floor. "No sleep last night?" Ethan shrugged, eyes glued to the laptop. "Why sleep when the city's burning?" He pointed at the screen, a Reddit post detailing Nathan's shady deals. "They're tearing him apart. And Olivia, she's lost everything." Claire nodded, biting a donut. "Horizon's done. She canceled her press conference this morning, no one showed. Employees are quitting." She paused, eyeing Ethan. "But you're not happy, are you?" Ethan didn't answer immediately. He thought of Olivia, not the dazzling CEO at Moscone, but the Olivia from years ago, coding with him in a cramped Palo Alto room, dreaming of the future. He shook it off. "She chose this path. I just made it clear." The doorbell cut in. Ethan frowned, expecting no one. He opened the door and Olivia stood there, oversized coat, hair sloppily tied, eyes red. She looked like a shadow of the proud CEO. "Ethan," she said, voice hoarse, almost a whisper. "I need to talk." Ethan crossed his arms, leaning against the doorframe, blocking entry. "Talk about what?" "You're out of stories, Olivia." His voice was cold, but his heart pounded, part anger, part something he didn't want to name. Olivia took a deep breath, clutching her bag strap. "I know I was wrong. I didn't think it would go this far. Nathan, he didn't matter. She stopped, eyes glistening. "I just want to fix this." Claire stood from the sofa, approaching, eyes like daggers. "Fix this." She scoffed, voice icy. "You destroyed Ethan's life, my family. Now you want to fix it when the world knows who you are." Olivia flinched as if slapped. "I'm not talking to you," she snapped, voice shaky. "Ethan, you know me. You know I didn't mean." "Enough," Ethan cut in, voice sharp as steel. "Didn't mean it? You think I'm blind, didn't see the lies, the nights in hotels with him? You think I'm stupid enough to believe you now?" He stepped forward, making Olivia retreat. "You lost Horizon because of you, Olivia. Not me." Tears streamed down Olivia's cheeks, unwiped. "I still love you," she whispered as if it could save her. Ethan stared, unmoved. "You don't know what love is," he said, shutting the door, leaving her silent in the hallway. Claire clapped slowly like watching a play. "Well done, Ethan. But don't let her sway you." She sat back, grabbing another donut. "Nathan's the bigger issue. He just hired lawyers to block the financial probe. He'll fight back." Ethan nodded, returning to the laptop. He knew Nathan wouldn't go quietly. A politician like him thrived on connections and cash. But Ethan was ready. He opened an encrypted file with more of Claire's USB evidence. Nathan's other transactions tied to a Cayman shell company. "I'll send this to the prosecutor," he said. "Anonymous, of course." Claire nodded, but her eyes were wary. "Careful." Rachel Kim posted on TechBit this morning, calling Moscone a calculated attack. "She suspects someone's behind it. If she finds us, it flips." Ethan frowned. Rachel Kim was a thorn he couldn't ignore. Her article had thousands of shares, comments guessing at the puppet master. He opened a browser, accessing the fake account he'd made to mislead Rachel. "I'll leak more rumors," he said. Some fake emails pointing her to an old Nathan donor. "She'll stay busy." Claire raised an eyebrow. "You're a fox. But what if she traces you?" Ethan shrugged, but inside he wasn't sure. Rachel could turn him from victor to villain in the public's eyes. He needed to keep her in the dark a few more days, until Nathan's prosecution was official. "We'll deal when it comes," he said, voice firmer than he felt. That afternoon, a message from Mike. Olivia called me, crying. You've gone too far, Ethan. Stop. Ethan stared at the text, fingers brushing the screen. Mike didn't understand. No one did. This wasn't about revenge, it was about reclaiming his dignity, the truth, his life. Claire stood, pulling on her coat. I've got to go. Someone from Nathan's old company wants to meet, says they have more info. You handle the prosecutor. She paused at the door, looking at Ethan. You did good, but don't let it consume you. We're winning, but winning doesn't mean happy. Ethan nodded, silent. When Claire left, the apartment grew quiet, only his typing breaking the stillness. Outside, San Francisco pulsed, but in Ethan's heart, another storm brewed. Olivia had fallen, Nathan was sinking, but Rachel Kim was a new threat. And deep inside, a question lingered. Was this victory worth it? The faint dawn light seeped through San Francisco airport's glass, casting orange streaks on the cold marble floor. Ethan stood by a large window, suitcase at his feet, watching planes lift into the deep blue sky. This city, with its steep streets, twinkling lights, and dark secrets, was about to become his past. After Moscow, after weeks of tension and bitter victory, Ethan had decided to leave. Austin, Texas waited, a fresh start, a new tech project, a chance to rediscover himself. 3 days ago, prosecutors announced a formal indictment against Nathan Pierce. Claire's USB emails and invoices, plus Ethan's anonymous leaks, painted a clear picture. Nathan wasn't just cheating but embezzling millions from campaign funds. He withdrew from the mayoral race, vanished from San Francisco, leaving only articles chronicling a political star's fall. Rumors said he hid in Nevada under a false name, but Ethan didn't care. Nathan had paid. Olivia fared no better. Horizon AI officially collapsed, the last employees gone, the Soma office now a dusty, empty space. Olivia's victim Instagram video lasted days before Ethan leaked her PR firm's emails. The public turned, calling her a manipulator. She moved to Sacramento, living with her sister in a small house, far from Silicon Valley's glow. Ethan heard she worked part-time at a bookstore, a quiet end for someone who dreamed of dominating tech. Claire was the last person Ethan met before leaving San Francisco. They met at a small North Beach cafe, where espresso mingled with the scent of fresh-baked bread. Claire, in a navy sweater, looked lighter than ever. She said she'd taken a job in Seattle, advising a small startup. I need new air, she said, stirring her cappuccino. San Francisco's beautiful but stifling. Too many memories. Ethan nodded, understanding better than anyone. Regret it? He asked, voice low, eyes searching for truth in hers. Claire smiled, not the sharp grin of before but soft, genuine. Regret ruining Nathan? No. Regret letting it define me too long? Maybe. She paused, looking at the bustling street. You? Was all this worth it? Ethan didn't answer right away. He thought of sleepless nights coding, planning, torn between anger and pain. He thought of Olivia's shattered face at Moscow and Nathan, once smug, now nothing. It was necessary, he said finally. But I'm not sure it made me happy. Claire nodded as if she'd known the answer. Happiness doesn't come from revenge, Ethan. It comes from what you do next. She stood, shook his hand, the grip as firm as their first meeting. Good luck in Austin. Don't let the past drag you back. As Claire left, Ethan lingered, watching his coffee cool. She was right. Revenge gave him justice but left a void. He wasn't the Ethan of 8 years ago, the husband who trusted Olivia. Nor did he want to be last week's Ethan, consumed by rage. Now he wanted to be someone new, someone who could let go. At the airport, Ethan checked his phone one last time. A message from Mike. Good luck in Austin, buddy. No more crazy stuff, okay? Ethan smiled faintly, replying, no promises. No messages from Rachel Kim, a relief. After he sent fake emails pointing her to an old Nathan donor, Rachel stopped digging for the puppet master. Maybe she found a new story or just grew tired. Either way, Ethan and Claire had escaped. He boarded the plane, sitting by the window watching San Francisco shrink below. The city gave him love, then took it. It taught him to fight and to lose. But above all, it showed him justice wasn't the destination, just a step to move forward. In Austin, he'd start again, not with anger but with hope. A new AI project, a new team, a chance to build something meaningful. As the plane took off, Ethan closed his eyes, Olivia and Nathan fading from his mind. He saw himself on a new road, unsure where it led, but for the first time in months he felt lighter. Not from victory but from letting go. San Francisco, with all its lights and shadows, was now just a memory. Ethan smiled, not looking back.